It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown and community supported. For a list of other fun programming, please check out the albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like the Mess Hall Podcast.
Okay, so this is season 5, episode 2, The Metal Saw. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind select conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and we'll probably be wrong about anything, but everything, rather, because we have recently changed kitty litters here in our house.
Oh, is it that time of year?
Yeah, it's that time of year, and we all need to get used to the new ratio of acceptable smells. So we're balancing it out. And now my cat, this happens to be one of the few that Charlie has ever been able to cuddle. Is that correct?
Yes, he is a lot less allergic.
Yeah, allergic. He is small. He's quite small, but he makes up for his size in his sheer output of scat. It's startling.
Well, that's how he stays so small.
That's how he keeps trim. Hopefully this new kitty litter is up to the challenge. Thus far, it's not looking so good. But, you know,
kitty litter challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, the kitty litter challenge. Needed to punch it up a little bit.
Maybe a special on kitty litter is that would be kind of a fun thing to look into. Now, as always, if you'd like to see where we got the info on whatever chewable vitamins we are going to discuss today, then please do take a look at the notes in the episode description. Charlie works through thick and thin, and you can show him your appreciation by regarding his efforts with respect and kindness. That's just all he's asking. Just a little bit of kindness.
I mean.
Ooh, he's trying.
See, that soundboard is working again. Okay, that's good. And as always, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Yay team, yay friends, yay squad. Yay.
Yeah.
You can check us out at itsconspiracypodcast.com. Our Twitter at Is It a Conspiracy? That's run by the social media influencers, the Irish Madman. Our Facebook group, our Instagram page, that's It's a Conspiracy Podcast. That's run by Gorgeous Greg. Our email and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. Nice.
That guy's back.
He's back. Now, ready then, joining the online distance communication time today is the aforementioned Charlie at the computer. This beautiful husk of corncob goodness will interject as he sees fit, and I do so appreciate his online digitally distant company. Are you this is going to come back in a little bit here. Are you a corn guy? Are you into corn?
Okay, you're talking about the music or
we're talking about a nice cob of corn.
Nice cob of corn, like some Mexican street corn or something like that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
All righty. Okay. That's good to know.
Just not like, Woodstock 99 version of corn.
Oh,
that's dangerous corn.
Okay. All right. We'll have to. That sounded like an opinion as well, but that's all right. I'll allow it. We're not quite into
telling you what I like and I don't like.
I know.
That's what you asked me.
I asked you your opinion on something, and then, yep. Inconsistent is what I am.
You slap my hands.
All right, then let's do this here, Charlie, with a slap or a nap. Can you tell me if you're familiar, or a map, I guess, if need be?
Nap or map.
Can you tell me if you're familiar with either of these two topics?
Let's go.
Number one, the Chronovisor.
Nap.
Okay. Number 2, gum and the 7-year myth. Nap. Okay. So this is subject number 1, the Chronovisor. Now that is an amazing name. That sounds like the Lord of the Cylons.
Can you just try saying it one more time?
Sure. The Chronovisor.
That's good.
That sounds like the Lord of the Cylons, but this is actually a follow-up to an episode in season 3 in which we discussed the sad story of Annie Jones, batteries still not included, and the Black Archives. This was the one where we discussed a couple of the secret treasures lying around in the Vatican vaults.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the most intriguing artifacts allegedly stored in the Pope's mystical tickle trunk is something called the Chronovisor. And it had sort of a bump in popularity after the 2002 book Le Nouveau Mystère du Vatican was published. My French is awful. That probably sounds like crap. The author, Father Francois Brunet, had first learned of the device in the 60s. And I mean, maybe he's got a bit invested in this, but he insists it's all true, man. It's true, every word of it. I saw it. Now, Brunet claims that he was discussing the reconciliation between science and faith with a fellow scientist priest named Father Pellegrino Ernetti. That is an amazing name.
Sounds like a race car driver.
Coming around the corner, Pellegrino Ernetti. Now, at one point, Brunet asked Ernetti how he was able to be so certain of the supernatural aspects of the Bible, and Ernetti replied, "Because I've seen them taking place." He went on to explain that there was a secret device known as the Chronovisor that allowed you to see and hear events of the past and maybe even the future. Ernetti compared it to a machine that photographs the past, which is where the name comes from. Chrono is something to do with time.
Okay.
And visor is like,
you know,
something to do with seeing stuff.
Face. Yeah. You put it on your face.
An equally cool name would be Time Camera, which I think sounds great as well.
I think Chronovisor's got a little bit more oomph to it, though.
Or like past events recording machine.
They probably workshop stuff like that for a day.
No, hear me out, guys.
Just throw it at those, throw some stuff at throw some names at the wall, see what sticks.
Now, this machine, built in the 50s by Ernetti and another scientist named Enrico Fermi. There was a couple of others as well. We'll get to them in a second here. It is described as being made of three precious alloys: cathodes, dials, levers, and that it has the ability to display a myriad of historic events. In a 1972 interview with La Domenica del Corriere, Ernetti said the inventors discovered that sounds and lights disintegrate into different energy forms. Using a series of antennas made of three mysterious metals, the Chronovisor reconstructed residual electromagnetic radiation left over by numerous processes. That's a bunch of stuff that I'm like, what? The who? When?
So is it a cell phone?
Well, it's the 50s. So it'd be a giant briefcase-sized cell phone that, like...
Oh, my phone does all those things that you're mentioning.
You can't take pictures of the past with that phone. Yeah. And if you can, I'm calling the Pope right now.
I'll show you. Here, I'll show you some pictures of the past. Here's a picture of the past.
Put that picture away. Hey,
me drinking milk. I know it was in the past because I was there when it happened.
Now, this is historical events, not Charlie drinking milk, not man drinks milk. Now, a sensor could select a specific location, date, and even a particular person, and the reconstruction appeared on a cathode ray tube. Now, this cathode ray tube worked like a camera or maybe a television set and has been used to document events such as the crucifixion of Christ, the Last Supper, speeches by Cicero, Mussolini, Napoleon, a 2nd century Roman market, and a 169 BCE performance of Quintus Ennius's lost play, The Aestes. And Ernetti was quick to point out that this final example was proof of the Chronovisor's existence, as only the title and fragments of the play existed in the 50s. So he started writing things down. He was like, these are the missing parts to that play. I'm telling you.
How would I know what they were if I didn't have a Chronovisor?
Yeah. Someone did look at his Latin and they were like, this is Latin from like 1,000 years after this apparently happened. And he's like, oh, I saw it happen. Anyways, that's an opinion. Now, Ernetti has taken heat for his dual role as both priest and scientist, but Fermi, I believe that's how you said it. This is the other guy that was involved, Enrico Fermi. He's a little harder for skeptics to discredit. So, for example, here's one of the many feathers in his cap. He won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1938 for his demonstrations of the existence of new radioactive elements produced by neutron irradiation and for its related discovery of nuclear reactions brought about by slow neutrons.
Okay. Fancy pants.
Yep. He's got some street cred, and he was involved in this, according to Ernetti, but he was unable to respond to the unveiling of his involvement because he died in 1954.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, there you go.
That's the bummer sound. That's a slide whistle.
Okay, I can do better.
That is also really good. But like, if someone has some truly tragic news, that's not the sound you're going to use. Like if someone's like, "Oh, the cancer's spreading," yeah. Oh, that's a little tasteless.
Okay, try that one again. I got it.
Which one am I trying here again?
Set it up again.
Oh, the box full of puppies was thrown in the river. Wow, this is, oh my goodness. Now the other participant in this is another well-known member of the scientific community. This is the infamous Werner von Braun. So von Braun was a one-time Nazi SS member who somehow ended up living in the US after the Second World War II, and he worked for NASA and their space program. So not that there's anything suspicious about ex-Gestapo being hired to do government-funded research, but just, odd circumstances, there.
Seems
so
fine.
He also died by the time his involvement in the Chronovisor was released. So Ernetti was like, well, von Braun, he's dead, but he also worked on it. I swear he did. Now, not to get into opinion time early.
We would never.
No, heaven forbid. The people secretly involved were all dead by the time this was announced. But Ernetti was able to provide a few photographs from the Chronovisor to shush those laughing at his claims. Now, would you like to see a picture?
More than anything.
Ernetti, so he claims this is Jesus at the crucifixion. This is a quick snapshot. Okay, here we go. And kaboom. There he is there. Yep.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, who am I to say that's not what that is?
I would love to hear you take a run at that headline there. This is from an Italian newspaper, and it says at the top there, this is an esclusivo.
Oh, exclusivo.
Yeah.
Inventada la macchina che fotografia el pasado. That not right?
That sounds great. I didn't know you spoke Italian.
Sure.
That's amazing. Oh, so yeah, that's a picture from the Chronovisor. Whoops, the Chronovisor.
Wait a minute.
Not the Chronovisor. That's something else.
No.
Unfortunately, this picture took a bit of heat as it looks remarkably similar to a statue from a church in South America. So I'm just going to share one more time here.
It was a statue made in honor of the guy.
So this image here, the one, and this will be on the Instagram page as well as the episode description. The one on the right is a statue in South America, and then the one on the left is the photograph from the Chronovisor.
The one on the right's got better eyeshadow.
Mm-hmm. And they both look like they're like, oh, that damn
more
cat.
Sorrowful. The one on the right's more sorrowful, for sure. Those are two completely different things. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite physicist, Stephen Hawking, was once asked about the Chronovisor and replied, if we want to travel into the future, we just need to go fast, really fast. And I think the only way we're ever likely to do that is by going into space.
Wait a minute.
I know. And it's like, Stephen, we asked you about the Chronovisor.
We were talking about the past.
Space.
No, space.
Space. When Ernetti was asked how his device worked, he was quick to point out that it was very complicated. But it basically ran on processing residual electromagnetic radiation left over by numerous processes. That's from that thing in the beginning. And it's like, what does that all mean? So people, understandably so, they began to hound Ernetti to analyze the machine. He realized that this was not a toy for idle mortal hands. And in order to prevent its study and possible replication, he decided to dismantle it and keep us all safe from greed or evil. So he's like, I'd love to let you see it. It's too dangerous in the hands of men. I've dismantled it. I'm sorry.
What a hero.
Mm-hmm. Or as Brunet alleges in his book, the one that we mentioned at the beginning there, Ernetti actually left it in the safety of the secret black archives section of the Vatican Library. Now, I would like to point out that this was the place also that the church was like, they were being subpoenaed for something, and the church was like, we'd love to, but it's cursed. We can't let you look at it because it's cursed. So sorry.
We like you too much. We don't want anything bad happening to you. We couldn't live with ourselves if something bad happened to you.
Yeah. Oh, now an interesting epilogue to all of this is that the Vatican made an official announcement in 1988, which indirectly referenced the Chronovisor. So they had been pestered about it before, and they responded with this. They decreed that anyone using an instrument of such characteristics would be excommunicated. So the church had earlier denied the existence of such a device. So why bother issuing a warning of excommunication just for a hoax? What? Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's the Chronovisor. Oh yeah. Now, speaking of hoaxes, what are we what
are we drinking? What are we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Oh, this ain't no hoax. I'll tell you, this is Death Wave Lager from Sea Change Brewing. I love this.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Okay, and don't get me wrong, I do quite enjoy very many of the Sea Change Brewing Company's offerings, but this, in my humble opinion, is the best one.
You like it the best.
This is, you put all these in a line, I'm picking this one out, and I am trying to surf on that can like that groovy skeleton man. Now, I'm not the only one, who said so. It's won some awards and won an award. It's won the Best Light Calorie Reduced Lager from the Canadian Brewing Awards in 2020. It's saying Death Wave is as clean and as easy drinking as it gets. How about that? Tasting notes. It's light, crisp, dry and refreshing with low bitterness and a super clean yeast profile. Squeeze a lime in it. We won't judge you. Go on. Death Wave Lager. Get you some.
That is nice that they're open to that there. I don't think that that's, suitable myself, but who am I to judge?
Have you tried it, sir?
Right. I know. That's exactly it. So, yeah. I'm going to talk about another of my, one of the beers that I tried up in the Yukon, up in Whitehorse. This is from the good people at Yukon Beer. So it's the Yukon Red, and I simply must show you this can.
Please do. You ask me if you can share it. I say yes. Yukon.
Thank you. Can I? Can I? Yes.
Yukon.
Yukon. Oh, Yukon share. No. Now, isn't that a beautiful can? Look at that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Just very classy. Very simple design, and I love this little sort of graphic.
Some nice artwork on Yukon Drink. Now, did you go to this brewery?
No, I didn't go to this brewery, but Yukon Beer is all over Whitehorse.
Right.
And when I was there, the business hours didn't line up with what I was doing when I was there.
Sure.
So I wasn't able to. But
we're outside at like 4 a.m.
I'm a big fan. This thing is incredible, and they're very popular around the city with the locals, and every sort of all the Whitehorse people were like, oh, you got to get yourself a can of this stuff here. Drink it right now. Just shut your mouth and drink it. Come on.
Put it in your can hole.
And all of them have very, very cool designs on them. That was the one that stuck out to me personally, sure. But they were all very, very good. So the description is as follows. The first draw of the ale cools the parched lips and moistens the cheeks. I don't like saying that word. Full malt body takes over the palate, not sweet, but bold, fruity, and persistent. A snap of clean hop bitter grabs the back of the tongue and springs into the sinus cavity, blending with the caramel flavors that have waffled back with the nectar that is this ale. But the swallow goes down clean, almost dry, and leaves only a slight lingering presence of the abundant flavors that were just there and now gone. It's very good stuff. I love the drama in there.
Sounds like some certain novels I read late at night to myself underneath the covers.
Aromas waffling,
spicy, so spicy.
Now, I do love the whole the lineup of the Yukon beers, and I've probably told this story on the podcast before. I apologize if I had. I was up in Whitehorse a couple years ago, and this cabbie picked my friend and I up from what was called I believe the capital at the time. It's now called the Dirty Northern Bastard. I think we've had this conversation. Anyway, so the cabbie picks us up and we're like, hey man, is there like a liquor store we could stop by and grab some beers on the way home? He's like, oh yeah, for sure. So he dropped us by one and we kept going home. And we got back in the car and he's like, oh, what'd you get? And I'm like, I got a pack of Yukon Gold, I think it was. And he's like, oh, quick, look at the can. And I pulled out the can, and on the can was a picture of the guy driving the cab. And he was like, hey, like made the same face pointing at me. I'm like, that is hilarious. So at the time they had a bunch of locals that they just put on the cans. And I'm like, that's so great.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was so funny. A very random moment in my life, but and I think I saw that guy when I was there last time, but I'm not sure if it was him.
Now, to harken back to our last episode,
okay,
with the simulation theory.
Oh,
you're trying to tell me that doesn't make some wires don't connect there?
Some wires are connecting.
Just so happened that you randomly there were many beers. Was there only one kind of beer that you could buy?
Oh yeah, there was
many
plenty.
beers.
There was plenty.
You
it was a big selection.
The one with the picture of the guy who was driving you around on it. Come on.
It's wild, man.
Come on.
I mean, he might have been on all the cans, to be honest, but it was, I don't know. And that is going to take us to advertisement number 1. Let's go.
This episode of It's a Conspiracy is brought to you by Bloom. Want to get a handle on Edmonton's growing innovation scene? Take a listen to Bloom, Taproot's newest podcast. Each week, hosts Karen Unland and Faiza Ramji will discuss the latest developments in efforts to solve new problems and diversify the economy.
Find out who has invented what, who is investing in whom, and what is on the horizon. Find Bloom wherever you listen to podcasts or visit bloom.taprootedmonton.ca. That's bloom.taprootedmonton.ca.
All right, now this is subject number 2. This is the 7-year gum myth.
Hey, spit that out!
No, never!
And Charlie, you said nap.
This one, I don't know about this one.
You're not sure. Okay. Don't swallow your gum. It's going to get lodged in your intestines. It's like the Sarlacc pit. It's an excruciating digestion for an expansive time. Boba Fett himself barely escaped. You got to be so careful. So now, is that ringing any bells for you, Charlie?
Maybe I've heard that before.
Okay.
As well.
This whole thing of don't swallow your gum or it's going to stay in your...
When people tell me these things, they don't say them like a fancy title. They're not presenting a PowerPoint presentation to me. They're just like, don't do it.
they don't preface it with, have you heard of the 7-year myth before? Yeah.
It's bad for you.
So it's apparently it's bad for you because it's going to stay in your stomach for like 7 years, or some people even say 10 years.
It's like if you eat watermelon seeds and a watermelon plant's going to grow in your stomach.
Oh my goodness.
That's what I was told.
And then just take over and just burst out your eyes one day.
Swallow gum, then a gum tree is going to grow in your stomach. That's a sticky mess no one wants.
Man, the 80s, what a time. Just wow. And we bought into this. Yeah. So now, okay, the truth is that gum is not digestible. But there are so many numbers of things that we eat regularly that are not digestible. So basically, we swallow food after chewing the recommended amount every single time, and our bites are broken down to be used by our bodies by enzymes. So carbs, fats, acids, proteins, etc. are broken down into simple versions by our small intestines, and then everything heads off to the large intestine to be besieged by bacteria, and then everybody's favorite part, whatever waste is left over, is expelled as poop. What a hilarious word to say. I don't know if I've ever had a chance to say it on the podcast before, or the poop cast, I should say.
You say it one more time?
Poo. Poo, poo, poo. Are you recording that?
Sorry, what?
Are you recording me saying poop?
Of course.
Poo, poo, poo. Are you recording that?
Every single time you say it.
Now, anyone who is a corn fan knows that their self-titled 1994 album is the best. Also, if you eat corn, you can usually see it emerge unscathed around 24 hours later. That's because you can't digest it. We don't have the enzymes or the bacteria to penetrate the casing of the kernels, so they just have a magical journey all the way from your mouth to your duodenum and then out your rectum. It's like a magic show every day.
Damn near killed him.
Sorry, I should give you a clearer run at that. And then out the rectum.
Damn near killed him.
Now, chewing gum, which has been around since the dawn of human civilization, ancient Greeks were known to chew on the resin of the mastic tree, and Mayans apparently chewed chicle from the sapodilla tree. This is really no different and moves through your body just like anything else. So mouth, duodenum, rectum.
Damn near killed him. You doing magic?
Yeah, magic. Identifying factors like color, elasticity, and scent would all be mostly eliminated by the churning and the acids and the enzymes and all that kind of stuff in the digestion process. But your gum is coming out of you just like corn and everything else that you're enjoying.
Sure.
So if you need an image, then imagine all of the food you've eaten riding down the slide that's attached to an airplane. You know, like when a plane has to make an unexpected landing and they get out the fun slide and like everybody's jumping down like a superhero. Mm-hmm. So all of the food that you've eaten is going down that slide. So some of it would be unrecognizably mutilated. Some of it would be barely identifiable. You're like, are those Brussels sprouts or
squishy
like,
mess?
Yeah. And then some of it would be fully intact.
Pristine.
Right. Totally. Now, and also, wouldn't it be fun to go down one of those slides? Like,
yes.
I don't know why they have to wait for an emergency to do that. It'd just be nice to like
time. And it would
next
get
time you're on a
off
trip,
the plane so much faster.
Oh man, just down the slide.
Everybody down the slide.
Everybody down the slide. Or leave the stairs up for someone who wants to take the stairs. Some boring person. Boo.
I don't like fun.
Anyway, there would be a danger and blockage if someone swallowed too much gum or any food for that matter. So it's understandable that people want to encourage kids to spit their bazooka joes out before the duodenum gets clogged up. But just do it in a polite way and don't ever stick it under a table. That's really gross. Just get yourself a napkin, put it in there without like, just like spit it out quietly, throw it in the trash, do a LeBron James, just boom, right in the basket, right in the rubbish, right in the bin,
right in the can,
right in the poo bell. Yeah, and that's gum and the 7-year myth.
The 7-year myth.
Yep.
Oh, and a myth.
We are off onto the journey of advertisement number 2.
Hi, my name is Kyle.
I'm Dave.
And I'm the Machine.
And we do a podcast called Kyle and Dave versus the Machine. It's a podcast where a sentient machine is forcing us to watch movies in order to prevent it from initiating the apocalypse. Although, Dave, you and I tend to talk about the ideas of the movie rather than the movie itself.
Well, it's the machine's fault, like everything, and by effect your fault, Kyle, that you've invited me, and this is the only thing I like to talk about.
I mean, I'm not going to face the apocalypse alone, so you seem like a good patsy to bring along with me.
If you wanted somebody that was going to give you some hope, you picked the wrong person.
Kyle and Dave vs. the Machine is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown, community supported. New episodes are out every Friday.
It's opinion time, it's opinion time. Hey everybody, it's opinion time.
Okay, we are back with opinions time here. So, Chonks, what was our first theory?
All wrapped up in this gum corn business.
Gum corn
we talked about.
We had some gum corn.
Oh, shit, I don't remember.
We discussed.
Oh, that the time machine photo, the photo time machine,
the time camera.
Yeah, the photo time camera machine,
the past events recording machine.
Yeah,
the Chronovisor.
Chronovisor. That's it.
Yeah. And
see, at first for a while I thought you were saying cronut visor.
Cronut. Oh, that sounds nice.
So you don't get hit in the head with like donut croissants.
And really, we've been saying Corona so much that I just kind of my brain's like
it's easy to say Chronovisor.
The Chronovisor.
Yeah.
which sounds like a song about like beer goggles. You're like, oh, get the Chronovisors on, and suddenly a 2's a 10, and
Yeah. Pretty sure that was a Buffett song.
Yeah. So, and our second theory was, if you swallow your gum, does it come out 7 years later?
Does it make a gum tree?
Yeah. Does it make it, or does it? Yeah. Yeah. Totally. A little tree just shooting roots down your legs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm not really a gum guy myself, but I would not swallow gum. I think that's gross. If you want to swallow it, then you're playing with fire. That's dangerous and reckless, and you should be locked up. So what's your feeling on this here?
I mean, as an adult, I agree with you. As a child, I did not agree with you.
Oh, all right.
I didn't understand. I didn't see a difference. Who cares? It's coming out, whatever. Yeah, swallow it.
Okay. All righty. So you were like, oh, let's roll those dice. Let's see what's going to happen here.
I like to live dangerously.
Yeah, that is.
What I say. However, the myth about watermelon seeds freaked me out.
Yeah. Yeah. This is actually a kind of going to be a running theme through this season, is going to be sort of touching on things. Yeah. Yeah. And we might have to go back to the watermelon seeds. Although, spoilers, it's been ruined. Because yes, you do get a watermelon tree growing inside you.
Absolutely, you do.
Oh my goodness!
That's how I got this figure.
A nice set of watermelons on you. So in looking at the Chronovisor, then what are your thoughts on like does it sound like a completely airtight, legitimate thing that someone?
Absolutely, he showed us proof. The proof is in the picture. And that picture was nowhere near like the other picture that was right beside it.
Oh man, that picture really does
just a little bit more artsy.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but like that's someone.
It was him.
It was taken at the crucifixion apparently, and he really, like the picture of Jesus there. He really looks like he's like at the moment of like having his hands nailed or something. Like
he did a really good job of doing a close up,
extreme close up,
way too close up.
Mm-hmm. Just my hands.
Dude, chill out.
Yeah, just back up a little bit. Totally.
Chill, just roll back the zoom on that Chronovisor.
Well, who knows how this thing works, right? And it was the 50s. I mean, totally, right? So, yeah, hard to say.
I don't know about that machine, man. But also, I'm sure maybe like we've got phones. I've got pictures of the past in my phone here.
Yeah, you were not drinking milk.
That's it. It's just drinking milk right there. I got other ones. This is why I was drinking milk, because there was a spicy pepper that we grew on.
You've really garden. Documented this whole thing.
And there's actually a chrono video of me eating the pepper, and then it was too much. It was a spicy pepper, so I had to go get some milk. I'm magic. I got science. Bring it. What else you got? You want some picture of some close up of some guy's face? I could get you that.
I guess for me the thing that I found a little bit dubious was he's like yeah, no, I did it with Enrico Fermi. He's dead, but
he's dead now.
He'd tell you if he was alive. He'd pull out his Nobel Prize and be like, oh yep, we did it together, sure as sugar. And Werner von Braun, who's like a very sort of polarizing figure in a lot of ways, because you're like, so SS guy and like making rockets for the Nazis, and then a couple years later using the same design. Yeah, so that's a little, people have had issues with that, but you know, again, dead by the time it came out that he was involved.
Of course.
And also not rocket related, but I mean, he probably had other interests, like taking and making a time camera. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So I guess it's convenient when everyone that you worked on it with is dead. You know, but I guess doesn't shoot down the theory. What I will say is that I do believe that I think it's very, very possible that the Vatican and the size of the organization and the amount of influence they've had for a really long time, they probably have a vault full of some crazy stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Right.
Without a doubt.
I just don't know if a time camera would be.
Okay, look, they might even have a time camera, but this dude's just straight up lying about his time camera. Just because it's not his time camera doesn't mean that there is a time camera.
So you don't have a problem with the concept of time cameras?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. I do. And I love that quote from Stephen Hawking where they asked him about the Chronovisor, and he just goes on this sort of segue into space.
Yeah, man. Let's go to space, man. Just get into space, dude. It was aliens.
I was waiting for something there. I was like, oh, he's been stung by a bee.
There's aliens.
No, what else could it be? Yeah, no, that's good stuff. Well, we've gotten to the bottom of that one.
Nailed it.
So righty then, chew bunch of good-looking people. Thanks so much for swinging by and bringing the thunder. We will be back with episode 3 in October. In the meantime, please feel free to check out our past casts and social medias at it'saconspiracypodcast.com. Maybe subscribe, tell a friend, leave a review, order some merch, get in touch to say hello. Maybe suggest a theory. That's always fun. Just kind of check it out, or do none of those things. If you just want to listen, that's totally cool too. You do you. All right, you chew you. And take care. See you soon.
Bye.
It's a conspiracy!